I was playing against high school kids 3 years ago, and it was a cute little game, coaches against players. That was dumb of me. When I tell y'all, I had just scored. I was feeling myself, and I was retreating and running backwards. No one was around me, and I rolled my ankle. Ask me how long my ankle was hurting. Ask me how long. My ankle was hurting for 3 months. So I need us to understand the humanness involved in somebody making a decision to continue to play at this age.
I'm still trying to figure out how it is that Candace Parker is no longer playing in the WNBA. Like, she really had the nerve, and I'll say this with all good intent, she really had the nerve to retire the day that training camp started. And I thought it was a joke. I thought it was a joke because Candace Parker, I've been watching her play basketball since the McDonald's All-American game. Like, we all knew, or a lot of us knew, about this unicorn at the time with the way she played, where she was able to play all 5 positions. And she ends up being a 3-time WNBA champ, 2-time Olympic gold medalist. Should have been 3. Gino, that's on you. The woman was the first and only rookie ever to win Rookie of the Year and WNBA MVP in the same damn year. And my only issue is that, given her resume, like both domestically and overseas, that the mainstream media did not give her her proper flowers when she was playing. They did not highlight her enough to showcase how important she was to the game of basketball. And that's with all the injuries she had, right? Imagine if she didn't suffer all these injuries, guys. Like, she could have had a couple more chips. And if she didn't have Derek Fisher as a coach, Lord knows what the sky limit was, but we ain't gonna get into that too much. And Sharí, I know you have a personal connection given where you're from and just how important she was to you as well.
What's crazy is we're the same age. I'll be 38 years old in a couple months. And I can't imagine still playing at a high level, or really at all, in this 37 3/4 of years old of a body. So first of all, just the fact that she was able to last this long through injuries and moving around with teams and different things like that, and obviously playing a lot of minutes as well, even from high school all the way up through, is beyond commendable. That's number one. We are both from the same city, essentially. Candace went to Naperville Central, I believe I have that correct. I went to Thornwood High School. We were both top players in the state at the same time. Both of our teams were ranked in the top 20 in the state at the same time. She always felt to me like a distant rival. I said that on Instagram the other day because we never competed against each other on our high school teams. I think I played against Candace one time when we played in AAU. I think I might have been a freshman or a sophomore in high school, but there was always this air of, even though you're competitive, right? You never want to own the fact when you're a teenager that someone's better than you. You're in your bag. You just never want to sit with that reality. But the reality is she was yards ahead of pretty much all of us. And for me, being able to see her ascension, being able to see her dominate at the high school level and then carry that right into college, again, that is a big deal. And then again, from college all the way into the WNBA. So it's funny, I met Candace formally as adults a couple years ago at the Final Four. And I said, I went to Thornwood. I said, we never played against each other, but we were always on the same list. There was her name at the top, and I was in there somewhere as well. So it was good to finally kind of have that conversation with her. But I can't stress enough for anybody that's ever doubted how incredible of a feat it was for her to have the level of dominance she had in the WNBA, even in college. It's so hard to play at a high level, even from high school, college, whatever. It's very, very difficult. Your body, especially as a woman, goes through so many different changes. This woman has had a child. She's been through a lot of different things. And then for her to then balance the broadcast side of her brand as she continued to move up the ranks and still play, there is so much to be said about that. And even in recent years, we've seen her be even more intent on hey, I'm a mom. I'm a mom to, I got to, her son, when I saw her in 2022, her son he was still little, now you have another child on the way. Like there's other priorities. So we talk about LeBron James and thinking about his priorities. She's in the same boat. I appreciate the fact that she was mature enough to say, I've given it all I have. And I have such a full life on the other end of this. I can walk away with this without the pomp and circumstance. And to be honest, I'm not shocked by her retirement. I mean, we saw last year, hampered by another injury. You don't recover. Guys, come on. We almost 40. Your body doesn't bounce back the same when you have an injury.
Unless you're Diana Taurasi.
Unless you're Diana. Let me tell y'all a story. I was playing against high school kids 3 years ago, and it was a cute little game. Coaches against players. That was dumb of me. When I tell y'all, I had just scored. I was feeling myself, and I was retreating and running backwards. No one was around me, and I rolled my ankle. Asked me how long my ankle was hurting. Asked me how long. My ankle was hurting for 3 months. So I need us to understand the humanness involved in somebody making a decision to continue to play at this age. Job well done, Candace Parker. You've been an example for me since I was an 8th grader, even if it was just chasing the level of greatness that you always exemplified. So I am very happy for her. This should also be a call out as we move forward, as we talk about this incredible rookie class that's entering into WNBA. They didn't do it for Candace, and they didn't even do it for Maya. Yeah. Do it for these young ladies. Do it for the Asia Wilsons. Do it for everybody else that's in the league that is continuing to sow the seeds and be great. Do it for the Diana Taurasis. And I think it's an honor for us to be able to do that for Candace right now, to say thank you, to say job well done. Yeah. Like our platforms matter. And I'm glad that we're able to do that. So it's crazy to think about, but man, what a run she has made. And I hope that she has a level of happiness that she's never, ever experienced in her life on the hardwood as she, moves away from it.
That's amazing, Sharí. And I don't really have much to add after that because you really summed it up beautifully. I just want to continue to commend her. I had an opportunity to kind of kick it. I don't want to say with her like we best friends or anything like that, but I did get a chance to cover her intensely, especially when she was in Chicago. Was literally on the court when she won her championship in Chicago. Got a chance to cover her again in Las Vegas. Had an opportunity to have dinner with her and some friends. We've just been in the same space around the same people at the same time, so we've been able to interact in that way. And every time I've had an opportunity to interact with Candace, it's like I can see why people love you. I can see why people gravitate to you. I can see this powerhouse of a person that had nothing to do with basketball. And I think that's what I admire most, that our interactions, for the most part, have not been on a basketball court. It's been you in your element with your friends, around your people, and you've just been able to sow seeds within those circles. And that has just been tremendous. Candace has transcended generations, has literally, you were a kid and you said, gosh, I want to be Candace Parker. And now here we are, 30 plus years old, almost 40 for me. And honey, I sure can't do nothing the way Candace Parker or anybody else can. Listen, we are all Greek on this call. I go to a party and I stroll the next day. I'm like, damn.
Girl, where's the Ben game and the Epsom salt baths?
I ain't got the knees. Like, what were you doing in the party last night, child? It's crazy. But she transcended generations. And I think that is what really adds to her legacy, is that no matter what era of basketball you began in this sport, when she hit the scene, you hear players now, I admire Candace Parker. You hear players like Asia Wilson, who were her teammates, that say, Candace Parker was my favorite player, and now I got to play beside her. That's the kind of transcendence that you rarely see. We throw around the word generational talent so much that it really starts to lose its value. But Candace Parker was a generational talent. Like, we will never see another Candace Parker, and that's okay. Like, it really is okay. Like, that value, that worthiness, that transcendence is something that we get to admire in the first ballot Hall of Famer for sure. So thank you, Candace, for everything that you gave us on the court and for everything that you will continue to give us as a woman, as a mom, as a broadcaster, as an entrepreneur, as anything that you want to see a young woman or young man grow up and aspire to be. Candace Parker exudes that.
Hey, Chris, can I add this really quickly? Because Terrika brought up a great point.
Look, Candace Parker, to your point, Terrika, was probably more exceptional as a player, right? Or as a person, in how she gave back and looked after the youngins like Kalia Copper, the Diamond of Shields, so many, Asia Wilson, giving them mentorship. And it spread throughout the league, right? And so that's what really resonates with me, is the way she could have been selfish, just worried about her own stats, her own business. But no, she said, look, I'm in a position with a lot of influence to impact people on and off the court. And I'll make sure I take the necessary people under my wing so that they know how to lead in this league and they know how to conduct themselves and build, not just on the court as a player, but also off it. So yeah, Candace Parker, we are forever grateful to you. We are indebted to you for all you've done. And we really don't deserve you based on the way people have diminished your legacy. And Terrika, I don't know if it was you, but somebody said, yeah, I'm glad she didn't go out with a farewell tour because she didn't want that fake love. Yeah. Right? Yep. She didn't want that fake love. She's already been named most overrated, or was named most overrated in Athletic Poll a few years back. So yeah, I'm doing it on my time the way I want to. And that's it. So salute to her. Yeah.
Before we segue, can I hit on Terrika's point about the generational talent really quickly?
Yes.
I think one point that we missed is when Candace Parker was coming up through the ranks, we didn't see post players playing like guards. She is really the first example that I remember seeing in real time of a post player playing like a guard. And I think she set the tone for what we're seeing even now, years later. And I think there's something to be said about that. So when we talk about a generational talent and how she shaped the game, she literally reshaped how we view 4s and 5s on the floor.
For real.
There's something major to be said and celebrated about that.
Yeah, I say off the time, like, I swear to God, I feel like me and Sharí be like in the same brain or something, because we have a lot of things. But I have said for years and still say that when I think of the point forward, the two people who come to my mind instantly is Candace Parker and Grant Hill. Those are the first two I ever seen to do it. And so, yes, like, you look at the post player position now and you can put them anywhere in terms of facilitation. Candace Parker, no one in the W was doing that.
Nope. Not even close.
Nobody was even doing it in college.
No one in high school. No one in college. There was nobody. We were there would be games. There would be, when you play for a travel team, all the great teams are playing in the same gym. And there would be times where we would just be watching like, how is she out here? How would because coming up, during my time, you were a post player. You're supposed to be on the block. What are you doing out on the wing at all? You should not be up there. Free throw line extended. If it's not a high low, get on the block and do what you need to do. So we were just in awe of the way that she was able to handle the ball, facilitate plays, and shoot from the outside as essentially a post player. It was so unheard of. I just wish that, or I desire that as we celebrate her, as other outlets celebrate her, that they really stick to that point. Because when you talk about somebody revolutionizing and recalibrating the game of women's basketball, Candace Parker is up there with Maya Moore. They're up there together. And I think that's an important point to note.